Welcome to the Bethlehem Story. And today I wanted to start just with the meaning of the name Bethlehem. You know, in Hebrew, Bethlehem, it means the house of bread. It's an extraordinary name for a little village, the house of bread. And what does it mean, this name? Well, Bethlehem is in the Judean hills, which are actually an extremely fertile area. There's an aquifer in the limestone throughout these hills, and Bethlehem itself, archaeologists would say, might have 6 very old springs that have always made it well watered and fertile. And actually there's a stunning contrast as you journey from west to east. You come through Bethlehem, straight afterwards the Judean wilderness starts, stretching down to the Dead Sea, which is a real desert, proper desert. And so you've got this contrast as you look eastwards. You've got green and then brown. And so as the children of Israel came out of Egypt and across the Jordan River and then up through the Judean wilderness into the promised land, they would have come from desert and suddenly been overwhelmed by this fruitfulness, this lush greenness, fruit trees and crops and life. And all the way through the Bible, Bethlehem is a place of fruitfulness, a place of life, a house of bread. And whenever we meet Bethlehem, we meet hospitality. For example, in the Ruth story, she's a refugee. She's come out of a famine. She's hungry. She's lost. And then she's welcomed into Bethlehem at harvest time. The house of bread, offering her the hospitality, the welcome of God. And all the way through the story to the birth of Jesus Christ. And Jesus would call himself, wouldn't he, the bread of life. I'm the bread of life, he said. And then he demonstrated it by feeding 5,000 people with bread. And so Jesus shows that he has come as life for a hungry, starving world. He is a demonstration of the hospitality of God. Come to me, he says, and find life. And Jesus later, after his offering of himself, after his death and resurrection, he'd be celebrated how? Through the eating of bread and the drinking of wine. In communion, we feast on him symbolically, the bread of life, giving life to us, nourishing us. And so Christmas is the birth of the bread of life in the house of bread. And when Jesus is born, what do they put him in? A manger. What is a manger? It's an eating trough. It's an eating trough. He's presented to the world. Bon appetit, world. Come and feast as the bread of life is born in the house of bread to feed a hungry world.